This is the big one. The GTWorld Challenge Esports Europe Endurance Series visits the beautiful circuit de Spa Francorchamps for our 24-hour race, the big day of esport racing. And we're more interested in what this man, Tobias Gronewald, in pole position, the number 14 Unicorns of Love Mercedes-Benz, gets ready for 24 hours of racing action here at Spa Francorchamps. Everybody's lining up in 2x2 formation. They're warming the tyres, they're warming their brakes. He's done the hard work in the last 15 minutes. He's got 24 hours of intense sprint endurance racing still to do. Can he hold that position on the run to Eau Rouge? We'll find out in a few minutes' time. The Spa 24 hours is go. Green flag. Tobias Gronewald gets a slow start. Tobias Pfeffer takes the race lead immediately on the run into Eau Rouge. Everybody's spreading out, trying to find a little bit of tarmac for the run up to the most daunting corner in World Motorsport. Over Radion at the top. Everybody sorting themselves out now. Matteo in 14 with a drive-through penalty. Pfeffer, race leader. Gronewald trying to find his way back. Pfeffer goes to the inside on the run down into Le Combe. 3 wide down the Camel Straight now. This has got danger written all over it. James Baldwin in the McLaren in the middle of that Southmates. They make their way through Le Combe and Lewis. Everybody's fighting for everything they can possibly get at this stage.
Here comes Tobias Gronewald for the race lead.
Wow, this is big drama. Gronewald finds pace from nowhere, goes to the outside, becomes the inside. That makes Tobias Pfeffer have to run completely off the racetrack. Tobias Gronewald now his biggest concerted effort to retake the race lead he lost on the run down into T1. This corner, the La Source hairpin, Gronewald goes for the corner exit in the big grunt and go AMG Mercedes. Pfeffer looks to defend the inside, eventually decides to do so, and Tobias Gronewald now has got the bit between the teeth. The Unicorns of Love car, we suspected he might drop away from the pace as the race progresses. Quite the opposite. Gronewald on the charge, the 157 ahead, fills the windshield with Audi. Gronewald forces his way to the inside for the run down the Camel Straight into Le Combe. Gronewald in the perfect position to secure this race lead, which he does do on the brakes. A little bit of contact between the two race leaders. Gronewald gets a little bit of black line on the tarmac as well as he puts the power down, but that is a race lead. It's been 1 hour in the making, but Tobias Gronewald rights the wrongs of the green flag and takes the lead of the 24 hours of Spa Francorchamps here in the GTWorld Challenge Esports Europe Endurance Series.
I love that though, right? We're talking about like the difference in high-end hardware and going into, you know, spending hundreds and thousands on your setup. And here's Lars Kisser rocking it on an IKEA desk with a single monitor. That is just that, lad. That is how you do it.
In this broadcast, which is great to see as Lars Kisser goes down the inside. That woke me up. There goes Guven down into 3rd place, but that was inevitable, really. Lars Kisser doing a great job.
At the start of the race, we're on about all the drivers need to take it easy. They need to just calm down and think it's a 24-hour race. Well, it's not like that. It's 24 hours of like the fastest you can possibly go. It's not like you've got to calm it down and, you know, ease the car through it. You don't get that luxury. These guys are, every single one of these drivers, you know, they've got 3 or 4 drivers, Chaz, and every single one of them is like right on that bleeding edge of pace. Every single one of them are the type of guys that could absolutely nuke you in terms of speed on a public server. So when the gap between 1st and 23rd is separated by, what, 1 second in qualifying, You don't get that luxury of having to calm down. You have to, every single lap is a go lap for these drivers right now if you want to be competitive.
Lars Kisser looking around the outside into the bus stop. Nothing doing there, but Guven's gone a little bit hot now. Kisser's going to be on his right-hand side on the exit. Punches it on the exit. Lovely stuff. Great run out of the corner. He's going to be on the inside for the source. He goes all the way over to the left, makes sure that he opens up that corner as much as possible. Guven brakes early. He knows the inevitable has happened. Tries to get a cutback on the Mercedes, and he actually does. I wasn't expecting him to pull that off there, because he's going to get a great run now over Radion and down the Kemmel Straight back towards Les Combes. Can he get this back, David?
I don't think he can. Lars Kisser, I think, yeah, absolutely got it done and dusted as the lights glow on the tarmac from the reflection of Guven's headlights there. The sun started to set here at Spa. But that one, every day of the week, I think, is in the books and on the cards already for Lars Kisser. Unicorns of Love taking that position back.
As we're looking now at the Unicorns of Love. Big shout out in the comments to Unicorns of Love. Anybody a fan, say hello in the comments to the GT World YouTube channel. And Bastian Richter doing a very respectable job despite that position loss to David Michel in the number 22 car. Still on the podium, still got a significant more than half of the race left to run. And it's fair to say, I think, that the Unicorns car, the number 14 car that we're seeing on screen now, is arguably one of the stars of the race. I think they've really completely and utterly defied my expectation and are far further up the track than I expected them to be at this stage in proceedings, at least.
Well, I mean, they're a talented squad. They just needed the right opportunity to come together. We've seen some great pace from them elsewhere in ACC competition, and we're now just seeing them once again sort of nailing it here. They have the potential to battle with the Titans here on ACC, and yeah, they've been doing it today. Had it not been for that the earlier pit lane issue, which was so very bizarre, you know. I wouldn't say they'd be leading, because I think that the FDA esports team have been so very strong, but they'd be still right up there in contention. Yeah, Bastian Richter, though, certainly isn't. Hope he's not going crazy. He seems fairly calm behind the wheel at the moment of the Unicorns of Love Mercedes, as he's trying to attack Michael in the 22, and he needs to pass really quickly if he has aspirations of controlling second position, of maybe even closing down on Tanitsa. He needs to get by right now. This is differing strategies all kind of coming together. We know the 22 is pitting a bit earlier than the 14.
But meanwhile, the fight for second position has got juicy indeed. Bastian Richter now still showing all the pace he needs and more in the Unicorns of Love number 14 Mercedes AMG. He's making a nuisance of himself. David Michel ahead, not quite got the answer in terms of pace, but doing everything he needs to defend that position, keeping the car nice and neat, middle of the road. Don't give him room on the outside, don't give him room on the inside. Spot your braking zone, keep the car nice and tight, keep it nice and clean on corner exit as well. Don't hold yourself up, but try and hold the Mercedes back if you possibly
and give a little bit of credit as we're getting a little bit of side-by-side here. Bastian Richter maybe getting by David Michel. Now going to go around the outside of corner with No Name. That's brave work. It's still being fought by the Porsche. Has to maybe do it at Pouon, but on the departure of corner with No Name, it's looking very good for the Mercedes indeed. Is the Porsche going to drop back in line? The answer to that is sort of no, not really. But Bastian Richter does it anyway. Very solid move from Unicorns of Love. That would definitely deserve a round of applause.
Yeah, good stuff there. And Bastian Richter, overtaker the race so far for my money at this stage in the event with this much on the line in second position.
It's, oh no, I'm hearing we've got Bastian Richter into the wall at Radion. We'll have to take a look at what has happened to Bastian Richter. They're down to 4th place behind Martin Kroenke, and once again, probably one of the hardest sections of racetrack we'll visit all year bites once more.
Bastian Richter does well, actually, to keep it still running, though, so it's not too dramatic. I mean, it's an impact. It's a big disappointment for the Unicorns of Love number 14 car. Let's have a look now. Can we see any obvious damage? Is the car struggling? Can he keep on the racetrack? Does he have to come down pit lane? We'll find out, no doubt. It does look like it's struggling a little bit. Plenty of take that position. Now, let's have a look. This is the Unicorn of Love car. Bastian Richter running P2 at this moment in time. Bottoms out at the bottom of Eau Rouge. Too much curb, nose first into the wall. And that is a massive, massive impact, Lewis. And actually, that'll there's no surprise. These visited pit road, that was a much bigger impact than I expected.
A team that's driven so well. Someone needs to go and give Bastian Richter a big old hug after that, because that's going to be rough. And the thing is you know, I don't know how much you know, but have been in the scenario of where your teammates and stuff. I mean, Bastian Richter's done a fantastic job all the way through the day. Still in pit lane, Tobias Gronewald into the car. They've dropped down to 11th place right now, but they are still out on the racetrack. We know their speed. We know we're not halfway through the race yet. They're a team that can come back from this. In that kind of location, and it's this one that's been unable to respond. Look at how fast Tobias Gronewald was coming through there. Obviously, you know, putting them a lap down, so it wasn't fought by Angus Fender, who we're presently riding on board with. Blue flags were out, so didn't fight that one. But still, Gronewald is not waiting around for anything right now. Is on the warpath.
Yeah, and that's what you've got to be, I think, at this stage in the race. Now, after that little setback, you don't really feel like you're in the mood for leaving a few tenths of a second left to go, cutting your way through traffic.
Well, it's not only that, but if you look at Tobias Gronewald, obviously, you know, running multiple screens here, which, you know, some drivers use 3 screens as, 3 screens in-game, so they can see what's going on left and right, have a little bit of peripheral vision. Other drivers, as you can see, using quite a lot of the curb over the top of Radion, so not scared of using it, although a bit of a deep inhale of breath from Gronewald there. You can see them on the right-hand side, so I'm going to take a wild guess that it's potentially Discord, which is the thing on the left, or it might just be an addition to data from the car. I'm pretty sure that on the right-hand side is data in a sense of strategy to run.
I need like James Vowles or somebody to go P15, 5 minutes to go.
Right.
1:43. I don't need someone to go, dude, we're doing really well, we need to go for 1:15, we need to get a really good feel of the car. It's like, no, can't cope with that, man. Cannot cope with that at all. So also, it's the way that the team speaks to you and knowing what part of the racetrack you're on. You do not want...
And we've got some beautiful cars out there. That, to me, great timing there from Mike. Thank you very much, mate. I love that Unicorns of Love car. Not to sort of not to sort of ironically say that I love the Unicorns of Love car, but that's one of the prettiest cars in the field, if you ask me, because it's so aggressive, but also it's quite a friendly and humble livery at the same time with that beautiful wavy pattern on it. It's very nicely designed.
Yeah, it's a very, very subtle car, but completely noticeable at the same time. And again, it's just a symbol of how seriously these teams are taking it now. The work that goes into the cars itself, you know, it really does show how excited and you know, almost professional the teams are in their approach to these events now.
Resolution, as well as actually Tobias Gronewald. Now let's interrupt this conversation to come back to it in a minute, because Tobias Gronewald has got the virtual bit between the teeth. 10th position, he sees Jack McIntyre in the beautiful livery, Rocket RJN Simsport McLaren ahead, and Gronewald fancies his chances. He's unleashing some of that pace that was in such great evidence at the start of this race all those many hours and a calendar day ago. And Tobias Gronewald now fancies a run up Eau Rouge. This is not a traditional overtaking position, but we have seen cars running too wide up the hill onto Radion. Gronewald gets back into the slipstream, gets a wiggle on Gronewald. Tobias Gronewald for the second time this race at Eau Rouge. That Unicorns of Love Mercedes goes and kisses the barrier in the most spectacular of fashions, and Tobias Gronewald drops the car just like Bastian Richter before him. A shake of the head, push himself back into the seat, and in the most spectacular way one can imagine, that fight has quickly disintegrated into another recovery for the Unicorns of Love Merc.
My heart goes out to him. I mean, Like, that's rough.
10th position is fairly secure. I think there's only 7 seconds actually lost during all that drama to Jack McIntyre ahead, but there will be damage on that beautiful AMG Mercedes number 14. David Christie, that is horrendous. Sorry, David, sorry, mate. David Christie in the commentary booth. I need to go into a small hole and disappear.
The disco boy. Whoa, there he goes. Josh Stafford still going strong.